who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. Do you know there are angels in our midst? Can you hear them? Can you feel them? They're all around you, with you every day. Do you see them, or do you look the other way? It's that man that I forgot to kiss as I hurried out the door. Or that stranger that said hello that I ignored. They are angels. They are angels. We are angels. We are all angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. My life gets so busy, time goes by so fast. I rush through the day trying to make each moment last. But when I take the time to look around, I see sweet angels smiling back at me. Everywhere at any time I need to open up my eyes and see the beauty that surrounds me. Now I realize we are angels. We are angels. We are angels. We are all angels who only have one wing. All angels searching for each other. All angels who cannot reach the sky. 'Cause we need each other to fly. 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 We need each other.
We need each other to fly. Good morning and welcome to Unity of the Blue Ridge. My name is Rev Darlene Strickland, and I'm excited to welcome you this morning. We light this candle in an acknowledgement of wherever you are, your individual flame is shining, and we join together in the awareness of that collective flame that we are. I invite you to join me in an opening prayer. As we turn our awareness within this morning, we do so in the spirit of calm. Today we explore what it means to be a calming presence, what it means to be connected to that inner resourcefulness, that inner treasure that in and of itself is a space and a capacity of calm. What that is and what it is not, and why it's such a blessing in our own life and one of the greatest gifts that we can be in this world. We open to this message today that we may be blessed and that we may be a blessing. So in the name and the nature of all that is holy, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. Today we're going to be talking about calm in a message that I've titled A Spiritual Lesson from a Riptide, and that'll make sense hopefully in a few minutes, but it really comes down to three things: your choice, your energy, your blessing. But before we jump into that, we want to jump back in time with our Unity Band and Cat Williams for a song by Eddie Watkins Jr. that Cat's going to perform titled, I Walk Away.
Getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. Every day I'm feeling so much lighter as the world seems fresh and new. Oh, what I taught in the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Each day I start anew, and so I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that held me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By a grace, another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting no way for me to see. Oh, the things I sought in the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust the God in all of us. Today I'll walk away, 'cause I'm walking away from the less thans that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Oh, I'm walking away from the thinking that had me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the path that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away.
Yeah. Oh, I love that song. Today is the day I walk away. You know, there's, like in the words of Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, know when to stay and know when to walk away. Well, today, as I said earlier, we're talking about spiritual lessons from a riptide. And I want to begin with a little story of this many years ago. A young girl lived in her home with her parents, and they had a wood stove, and the little girl loved to go out on the porch. They had one of those really big wraparound porches, the southern home. She loved to go out around the porch and get firewood and put it in the bucket and bring it in and stack it up. Well, one evening, as her mom was making dinner, she said, "Honey, go get some firewood." And so the little girl heads to the door with her bucket, and she opens the door, but it's dark outside. She turns around to her mom and says, "Mama, I'm scared. It's dark outside. I don't want to go around there by myself." And she said, "Oh, honey, don't worry. God is out there. God will be with you." And so the little girl took her bucket and went back to the door and opened it, and she held the bucket and said, "God, if you're out there, will you put some firewood in here for my mama?" And I love that story because, you know, it's a process of sort of it's a spiritual maturing as we come into our relationship with what does it mean that God's out there and that I don't necessarily have to be afraid. You know, there's an interesting thing I discovered in the Bible one year around the Christmas holiday is every time someone encountered an angel, the angel always began with these same two words, "Fear not." And I started looking, and throughout the Bible, with many of the angel encounters, the angel begins with, "Fear not." And I found comfort in that because it's a recognition that fear is a part of our human biological system. It's like a red alert light saying, "Warning." Fear is a part of the human experience. But so often we get caught in fears that are really not relevant, or we allow them to stop us when we need not be stopped. And so the message of fear not reminds us that we have a choice. There's a scripture in the Bible that comes from Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, that says, "For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind." God didn't give us a spirit of fear, of anxiety, of angst, of panic. Maybe a better way to say it is God didn't leave us there, but we are empowered. We are the spirit of love and of a sound mind. And it takes a lot of intentionality. Just like the angel says, "Fear not." It takes intentionality to move beyond the reactionary impulse of fear. And so today we want to talk about that and why it's so important to cultivate calm. And how when we're really living in a spiritually empowered way, when we're connected with that spirit of power and love and of a sound mind. One interpretation of sound mind says self-control. Another interpretation says courage. But when we're living in the spirit of those things, and when we choose those things, it creates a sense of calm. And I don't know about you, but I think we could use a little more groundedness in calm. I mean, I think most of you would probably agree with me on that. And so that is what sparked this idea was this past Monday of this week. I was driving back from Charleston, the South Carolina Low Country. We had a family wedding, and on the last day when I was driving back, I just couldn't resist. I did a short little detour to go to the beach because I love the beach. That's one of my happy places. And I wanted to put my feet in the sand and to walk along the edge of the ocean. Very calming, very cooling. It was hot. And as I was walking, I saw a sign. I grew up close to the coast of North Carolina, and I saw a sign that I'm very familiar with. This sign right here. It's basically the sign that I saw said, "Beware of riptides." And when I saw that sign, it just reminded me of really how a riptide works. Well, if you're familiar with a riptide, it is a strong, swift current that literally pulls through. If you get caught in a riptide, it just literally, it's like a vacuum that pulls you very quickly out to deep water. And there's an overwhelming impulse to get back, to fight against it and to swim back. But in that kind of current, in a rip current, it is so forceful that it's pretty futile, that no matter how hard you try, you're just exhausting yourself because you keep going further and further from the shore. And the number one thing to remember is don't panic, but stay calm. And that if you get caught in one of those rip currents, what you need to do is to be very mindful, and instead of trying to fight against it, is you go with the shore. You go parallel to the shore. And in just a little bit of time, what will happen is that rip current will dissipate. That current lets go of you so that you can then make your way back to the shore. Now, you're probably going to find yourself way down the beach, farther from where you left your shoes in the sand. But fortunately and hopefully, you were able to get out of that current that literally just snatches you. But when I saw that sign, and I was walking on the beach this Monday, what I was thinking about is like, man, there's a lot of riptide currents flowing around in our world today. I don't know about you, but it's like you can just be walking along in your life and you have your plans and you're going on about your way and about your day. And then something sweeps through. Let's say like a global pandemic. Let's say like the earth on fire. Let's say like a flood. Let's say like a justice dies. Let's say like whatever is overwhelming in your life. And I know you get the drift. That inwardly and outwardly, there are currents always moving through. And sometimes there's these powerful currents that literally seem to sweep through and just pick us up from where we were and just disturb everything. And the impulse, the initial impulse is that primal reactionary fear. Hence, that's why the angels say, fear not. Again, reminding us that it takes some deliberate intention, just like in the water. You have to keep your wherewithal and don't panic, but stay calm. And so how to really begin to stay calm, and I believe that's what that scripture is pointing us to, that says, for God didn't give us a spirit of fear or panic or anxiety, but we have a spirit of power. We have a spirit of love and of a sound mind. And when we are really anchored in that, there's a calm, an inner calm that we can tap into. Now, that sort of requires us to understand, well, really what is calm and what is it not. I've never said to myself or to anyone else, now be calm when everything was going smooth, because there was no reason. The reason you have to tell yourself to be calm is because you're probably about to lose it. You're realizing that something is spiraling out of control. The emotions are rising. Something's coming up. And you have to remind yourself, now, stay calm. But it doesn't just go from here to here. If you're caught up in a current, in a wave, if something has just knocked you over, and you say to yourself, okay, now be calm. It doesn't magically happen. I wish it did, but it just doesn't happen like that. And so when we're talking about calm, it's not that you're never going to be disturbed, because you will. It's not that you're never going to be afraid or angry or upset, because you probably will. It's not that you're going to be what I also call a bliss ninny, that just says, oh hell, all is well, no matter what's going on around you. That doesn't really work either. But there's somewhere in between. You see, that constant calm doesn't mean that every minute you're going to be in an outer state of calm. Maybe you reach it, and if you do, I'd really like to meet you. But to be really still, in the scriptures it says Jesus was moved with compassion. I think Jesus was moved with troubling things many times, and he worked with it until he could move out with compassion. That things will disturb us, but it's about realizing I can cultivate an inner sense of calm. I can tap into a dimension of my being that is calm. And I can remember that when I find myself in those places having to say, now be calm. So it's not just a airy-fairy state that you try to achieve all the time. No. Calm is a capacity. It's a capability. It's an ability to be present and available. What calm does is it creates perspective. It creates that space. Be still. Calm creates some space, so rather than reacting, you can choose, how will I respond? Calm allows us to keep our focus on the shore, to keep ourselves in alignment to where we're trying to get and to what matters most. That's what calm does. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't always stay calm. There are times that it just gets to you. I put a thing on Facebook this week asking people about, what helps you be calm and what is it that really has you struggling. And one woman responded, she said, within the span of 10 minutes, I was cleaning up broken glass. I burned the kids' dinner. I saw texts coming through about a birthday party someone was trying to plan during COVID. And then my youngest decided to do a project on my favorite rug, and the project involved glitter glue. It is safe to say I was not calm. That's going to happen. That will happen. And to know that those things are going to happen, but how are you going to deal with it? Well, calm helps us realize that, there will be times we may mess up, we may make mistakes, we may even lash out. But if you have an intention and a practice of being calm, it'll be painful. Either then or later, it will hurt that, gosh, I didn't mean to act that way. I wish I had had the wherewithal to do something differently. And that's the power of making amends. We go back and we say, I'm sorry. We do whatever we need to do, and we keep ourselves committed to making the highest and best choice that we can. And so that's sort of what calm is and what calm is not. But we're understanding that it's a dimension within our being that allows us to be able to be fully present and respond in a helpful way. Just like that wave, don't panic. Do your best to stay calm. And then wait for that opportunity that will lead you to freedom. And so when we think about cultivating calm and how we're in relationship with this, I want to look at it through the context of these three things: that calm is a choice, calm is an energy, and calm is a blessing. Now, to make it really personal, calm is your choice, calm is your energy, and calm is your blessing. And it begins with your choice. If I'm upset and someone says, now calm down, that's not really motivating me to calm down. And I'm sure probably you felt that way. And a lot of people I know as young people were squelched and really want to be able to express. And we need to be able to express, but in a constructive way, not a destructive way. And so to remember that calm is your choice, and that choice awakens capabilities. Now, this is very powerful. Choice, our free will, awakens capabilities. Our choices are constructive or destructive. And so when we realize that calm is a choice, and that's part of my God-given capability, I become more motivated to find my own calm. That it's a choice which activates a capability or a capacity to override the primal fearful response, the instinctive reaction to lash out or to do whatever. And to notice that, that always may be there. But we learn self-control. We tap into a greater dimension of ourself, and we realize that it is truly a choice. Dr. Brene Brown said in one of her books, The Gift of Imperfection, she talked about calm. And she said that cultivating calm, or the choice to cultivate calm, begins with letting go of anxiety as a lifestyle. I mean, think about that. That calm is your choice. And it's a choice to let go of any other lifestyle, any other undercurrent that's sort of the background hum, your internal atmosphere, if you will. It's to let go of that. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful if calm was your choice and was your default place? And I can tell you it can be. So the first is to remember that calm is a choice. The second is to remember that calm is your energy. That it's about the energy that we experience inside of us and the energy that we then create outside of us. The calm is an energy. There is a reason that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. went to study Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi, in his practice of nonviolence, and you hear me when I say the words practice, Gandhi and his followers spent a lot of time practicing how to be nonviolent, how to maintain their calm in the face of whatever may be happening. And Martin Luther King Jr. knew that the work that he would do would require him and those people that would follow and stand for the same things he was proclaiming, that it would require a capacity for an individual to stand in the face of hate, to stand in the face of rage. And I don't know if you've noticed it today, but there's a growing sense of rage in our world. And if you meet hatred with hatred, if you meet rage with rage, it's just like pouring gasoline on the fire. And it burns our own being. And so the greatest thing that we can do is to realize, like they did, that they're energetic beings and they needed to train in the way to stay connected to that calm. That calm is a choice and calm is an energy. When I grew up as a little kid, I had a lot of stomach issues. I took more Pepto-Bismol to this. I hate that stuff, but I could smell it and just, ugh. But I had a lot of anxiety. By the time I was in the 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with stomach ulcers. And as I grew older, it led into panic attacks. Now, if you've ever had a full-out panic attack, I literally wound up in the emergency room thinking it was a heart attack, awakened out of a dead sleep. And what I realized for myself is that even though I came from a good home, even though I had a religious upbringing, even though I didn't have anything threatening in the household, there was an undercurrent of anxiety. And what I know about myself today is I'm an intuitive and I feel the energy around me, and there's an undercurrent in this world. Jesus said there are trials and tribulations in this world. There's the cares of this world. And he also said, but I have overcome and you can too. It's to realize that it's there, and it takes deliberate intent. And so it begins by asking, what's my energy like? Well, for me, I had to realize, and it was a hard realization, that I had an undercurrent of anxiety. It didn't make logical sense, but it was there. And so I had to begin to work with that to consciously create a different kind of interior. And not necessarily waiting for the other shoe to drop, or always trying to stay one step ahead of what may be happening. About 10 years ago, I discovered a piece of research from a neuroscientist, and they were studying our reactionary capacities and why we seem to be sort of fearful in many ways. And they were looking at rats, and so they looked at a litter of baby rats. They're called pups, a brand new litter of little baby rats, pups. And these little pups, little rats, were just playful as could be. And then they took one cat hair and introduced it into their play area. Well, the play stopped immediately. For the next 24 hours, they did not play at all. They were on high alert. After 24 hours, they took that one cat hair out, And do you know that the play never resumed to the level that it was? Now, in time, they started playing again, but it was never as uninhibited as it was initially. It's as if at some point in our life, all of us, something gets triggered, and all of a sudden, it's like we're on alert. We're trying to protect our existence. And if we're not careful, the inner landscape of our being can become so tense that it's really challenging to find calm and to be calm. There's another story that I resonated with, and I still resonate with, about a poodle. It was a poodle that was chasing some butterflies and found himself lost and was trying to get back, but all of a sudden was encountered with a tiger. This tiger was heading over towards the poodle. Well, luckily the poodle noticed some bones on the ground close by. The poodle turned his back to the approaching tiger and started chewing on the bones. And just as the tiger was about to pounce on the poodle said, "Boy, that was one delicious tiger. But I'm still hungry. I wonder if there's another one around here anywhere." Well, when the tiger heard that, the tiger stopped midair and took off. He crawled back into a nearby tree and thought, "Man, that was close. Whatever that little creature is, it's a tough little thing." Well, a monkey had been up in the trees watching this whole thing. And the monkey came down and said, "I'm going to tell you some valuable information if you'll protect me." And so when the monkey told the tiger what happened, the tiger got so mad. And so the monkey got on his back and they went back for that poodle. Well, he says, just as he was about to get to this little canine, the poodle saw the monkey and the tiger and realized what had happened. And so this time he turned around, pretending he hadn't seen them, and said, "Where's that darn monkey? I told him to bring me another tiger over an hour ago." I love that story too, because it's like we're always trying to stay one step ahead of whatever may be trying to get to us, and to realize and to ask ourselves, where is my energy? That calm is a choice. Calm is an energy. And that finally, calm is a blessing. That it's our blessing. To find yourself in that place. I saw a movie that featured, Holly Hunter was in the movie. It's titled Broadcast News. And Holly Hunter plays, will you give me that song, Donna? She plays a news, the title of it's Broadcast News, but Holly Hunter plays this stressed out personality, control freak, surrounded by chaos. And in the movie, every day she goes into work and she sits down at her desk, she takes the phone off the hook, and then she just cries. I mean, she sobs. And then after a few minutes, she puts the phone back on the hook, and then she starts to work like it never happened. Now, it happens several times throughout the movies, like a ritual. She comes into work in the morning, she sits down, phone off the hook, she cries and cries, phone back on the hook, and then she starts her day. It's never explained. But I call it a ritual because consciously or unconsciously, we all have our ways of coping. Well, there's another sign that I would say that I use. It's my way of coping, and it's this one: do not disturb. Now, I don't physically wear this sign, but every day I assume the position, I assume the posture, I practice, I pray and meditate. Every single day, what I've learned about myself and being able to not get carried away, being able to override an interior landscape that is weighed down with the cares of this world, or anxious, or hopeless, whatever your interior landscape may be. I cultivate time in prayer and meditation to be still, My shoulders drop. Relax the jaw. Become empty. I give way to the presence. And you see, in giving way to the presence, I become one with the greater presence. And in that dimension of my being, in that dimension of your being, there is peace that passes understanding. There is calm that flows from a sense of God-given empowerment, of love and compassion, and of a soundness of mind. That I take myself daily to this place so that I can remember my home vibration. And when I get up and I greet the day, I'm grounded in that place of calm. And that leads me to the final sign. And I believe the ultimate gift of all of this is right here. That it is well with my soul. That for this to be really true, it is well with my soul, is to be drawing from that river of calm and peace and compassion that keeps your cup full. That allows you, like this mom, when all, you know what, is breaking loose. We deal with it, we do our best, but we know that we have a choice and a capability to show up in this world in calm. I don't know about you, but every time I watch political debates, the person that I'm feeling inclined to vote for in particular, I'm saying, please stay calm. Because there's nothing more painful than watching two people just lose it. Because then all we see is reactionary fluff. Whether you're a child or an adult or a grandparent, we appreciate people that can stay calm. That can be that channel for greater resources, for creativity, for divine ideas. And so I invite you to take this opportunity, if it's comfortable for you to do so, to close your eyes. We know that we have not been created to live in a spirit of fear. That fear is a part of our reactionary nature. It's like a warning signal. But it's meant to be just that, a subtle signal, a passing signal. That our very nature is a nature of love, of spiritual authority and empowerment, a foundation in spirit, and of soundness of mind, being connected to divine mind, to a higher way and state of being. That if we are to be the change we wish to see in this world, we must be able to access those qualities of love and authentic power and soundness of being. This week we bring awareness to our inner landscape. Is it calm? And if not, how would you describe it? What is the background hum of your being? There's a sign as you enter into the desert that says, next 600 miles, just you and your thoughts. When it's just you and you alone, what is it like? We choose the direction and our capacity for calm. We choose that space and that perspective to respond in a way that is helpful, constructive, compassionate. And we realize that this is born from within. That as we take ourselves within, Jesus said, close the door, go into the inner chamber, go within and pray in private. The Buddha said, go beyond the waves that make the noise, for go deep, deep within your own being, where there is calm. We give thanks for this capacity to choose. We give thanks for this capacity to be aware of the energy that we embody and to upgrade that energy. We give thanks for the capacity to be blessed and to be a blessing. And so as we bring our awareness back, you know, wherever you find yourself facing a riptide or some current coming through your life, my prayer for you is that may you find inspiration and calm, the capacity to choose that again and again and again. And my prayers are with you. I want to thank you for joining us today. We are looking forward, and we just had another beautiful Sunday service outside in November, as you saw in the announcements. The 2nd and 4th Sundays in November, for any of you that are in the area, we're moving it back to 11 a.m. So at 11 a.m., our live stream and our services will be outside on the lawn, safely distanced for any of you that can come. We're very delighted to have more and more people joining us from around the globe, really. It's such a blessing to have the collective consciousness of people. In my mind, it's like bright lights all over the place. So we thank you for joining in. We also thank you for your prayers and your financial support. You have been very faithful in that, and it is making the difference. And so thank you for your ongoing financial support. I'm a true believer that if every person does what's yours to do, it works. And so far that is working, so thank you. As we get ready to wrap up our service today, we have one more song by Kat. This is a song that when we have the chance together, it's I Will Stand by Aaron McGawkin. And we want to sign off today with this song by Kat and our amazing Unity Band. I stand with you. Ready to stand for love this morning? Here we go. I will stand.
Yes, I know.
voice. I will say